Hi everyone and welcome back. I want to look at the subject of worship. And the question I ask myself is, what is true worship? When Jesus met the woman at the well in John chapter 4, he said the Father is looking for those who are true worshippers, who will worship in spirit and in truth. I'm convinced that worship is not something that we do. It's not a song, but it's simply the giving of our life. It's in its entirety. Genesis 22, God met Abraham and said to him, take your only son Isaac up onto Mount Moriah. And he made the 3-day journey. And before he ascended up onto that mountain, he said to the men that were with him, you will stay here, and I and the boy, we will go up there and we will worship God. Then we will return. That's the words he used. So in Abram's understanding, worship was sacrifice. It was the giving of what was the most dearest thing to him. That's true worship. This word worship literally means to fall down, to prostrate yourself. It means complete obedience. It speaks of humility, brokenness. It's the attitude of heart that God is looking for from each and every one of us. Paul says in Romans chapter 12, he says, I beseech you, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present yourselves as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your reasonable worship. Paul understood that worship was not something about a song, not something about a dance or some event that we do on a Sunday or a Wednesday night or whatever. But worship, true worship, was the giving of his life in sacrificial service to God each and every day. It came from an attitude of his heart. God had to rebuke the people of Israel. You can read in Isaiah 29. Because he says to them, you come close to me with your mouths and you sing songs with your lips, but your heart is far from me. And the way you worship me, you are taught by men. In other words, it was not spontaneous, it was not alive, it was something religious. And too often we can fall into that trap of thinking that worship is something we do. Worship is something that takes place at a certain time in a certain event. No, my brothers and sisters, God is looking for people who will worship him and express their heart to him in sacrificial living unto the Lord. Nobody can teach you this. But there needs to be a deep and earnest and sincere desire within each and every one of us to be people who are true worshippers. God bless you.